Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to the show that takes you from the week and delivers you safely, warmly, snugly into the weekend. It is, of course, our big weekend, the official weekend kickoff with Away Day Beers, and I'm looking forward to this evening's show. Morecambe tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff. We have our pre-game show at 2 p.m. I'm joined by Alex Wilson and Peter Cox for that one. Then, of course, the fan reaction live the moment the full-time whistle goes. Win, lose, or draw, Talking Town will be live and you can get involved. But tonight, it is our press conference reaction, our final look to Morecambe. And I've got two contributors tonight that are going to chew the fat and deliver a really exciting show. You may remember a couple of months ago, I put a call out for new voices. That's right. We always want new people on the platform to come on, have their say in their own words, and just get involved in the platform that is for fans, by fans. We saw one of those voices on Wednesday, Dan, with a 5 out of 5 starting performance. And then tonight we have got somebody else who has answered the bell and hopefully going to deliver just as well. No, I know they will. I've spoken to them backstage. I can hear them. I can see them. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the platform. If you're sat at home thinking, I want to be involved, do go to our social media, message saying you want to get involved, and we'll take it from there. Maybe you want to get involved or support the platform and you don't want to actually come on. That's fine. You've got a live chat. You can use that to your heart's content, as Rob Holmes has done, Mark Rattle has done, The Beep has done, Crunch has done. Pumping is talking cricket. Do give it a watch. It was a good listen while I was beavering away. He says, let's be kind to newbie Neil Willmore tonight. Absolutely. You can do that. Get involved via the live chat. Craig can't believe he missed talking cricket. Don't worry, Craig. It's on the platform for you to catch up on. Maybe you're thinking, I want to get involved, not via the live chat, not via appearing, but want to support the platform. You can do so. Become a Talking Town 5th standard today. Head to our Ko-Fi site or hit join on YouTube. In fact, in the chat, there's a little box with a heart on it that says, show your support for Talking Town. You've got a super sticker, super chat, membership, or a membership gifting. You can gift somebody a membership. I mean, that's just in time for Christmas, right? It's almost like I know what I'm doing. So you can give somebody the gift of Talking Town for Christmas. Like me, you'd have no friends left by the time you went down. I've just heard that through out loud. Oh my God. Merry Christmas, Dad. No, it's not socks this year. What is it, son? It's a membership to Talking Town. I mean, you'd be the best son or daughter ever. Let's be honest. Let's be real. We also have our prediction league available. Links in the chat. You've got 5 fixtures: Morecambe Town, Norwich, Preston. That'd be obviously 10-0 Preston. Bristol Rovers, Cambridge, Colchester, Harrogate. And the last fixture this week will throw you because it threw me. It is Morecambe Panthers versus Haslingfield Colts. I had no clue what division that was, whether that was football, whether that was rugby. I had no clue. So I had to go and Google it. I think it's the Cambridge under 10 division, but there's no league table. So I couldn't even do a form guide to try and see who's in the better vein of form. So I've literally just gone for the highest scoring game I possibly could think. Good luck. Oh, by the way, Morecambe Panthers, Matt Stannard is the chairman of. So if you're Talking Town regular, you know Matt. Matt's our is our chat moderator. Get involved, support his team. Give them a 5-0 win and let's see. Oh, they're doing good. Keeping it real with the artist, Curtis Yates. Curtis, how are you, my man? Keeping it real?
As always.
Absolutely. Well, actually, it's funny because we were saying it before the show, weren't we? We were talking through to Neil, who's the new contributor this evening, just about owning the truth, doing your truth. And that's what you do. You keep it real every time you're on the platform.
Yeah, not everyone's going to agree with your opinion, but it's a good laugh, isn't it? And plus, our community it's not like Twitter, is it? We'll all kind of agree to disagree, and we'll all have a good laugh about it. That makes this platform quite fun. So yeah, I enjoy it.
Absolutely, I enjoy it. Yeah. And when it comes to the prediction league, Morecambe Panthers, Haslingfield Colts. Bear in mind, Matt Stannard is a part of Morecambe Panthers, the chairman, no less. Which way would you be leaning in the prediction league this week?
Oh, well, obviously, I've not had time to do my research on such a force.
There is no research. They've hit the league table.
but I'd have to go with absolutely no research. I'd have to say it's going to be a 6-0 stormer for the Panthers.
6-0. So I gave the Colts at least one goal. I thought,
Yeah, they'll run them. They'll run over him. Run over him.
Run over them. There you go. The Panthers will maul them. You could almost say.
I should have said that.
There you go. Look, the last time we spoke on the platform, so obviously we speak on WhatsApp, but last time we spoke on the platform was Plymouth Argyle away. Town had just capitulated for the second week in a row and surrendered a win. I've got a little bit of questioning later on in the show, but briefly, how are you feeling now as a Town fan, sitting here another week on, 2 wins in the bank from the 2 home games, 6 goals, 2 conceded, bit of a turnaround. What's your thoughts now?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that worried me after that Plymouth game was the way we had capitulated the game before, and in that game, those are the only 2 worries that I had now, and I was starting to worry that whether it was going to become a case of the next game was going to be the same. So yeah, maybe I didn't have any doubts, but there was just a slight worry there. But we seem to have got back on track, really, haven't we? It was very much a trip up, and now we seem as though we're back on the right track to where we want to be. But yeah, my faith has never gone. I've always backed the manager. Like I said, I just had those slight worries that like 1 week, like one game from another, they were both the same issues. But he's learned from them. We played well in both games. I think we thoroughly deserved, obviously, both wins in both. Yeah, no, I'm as high as they can be as a Town fan right now.
Good man. That's exactly the place to be. Now, obviously, we've got a new contributor with us tonight, Neil. He hasn't got an intro yet. You've got to get 3 of those in the bank to qualify for a startling cinematic experience like Curtis just had with his intro. So instead, as it's 8:40, it would be rude not to use this as Neil Willmore's intro for this week. ITFC Legends Pack. Make your weekends flow from $14.99. That's right. The official weekend has begun. 8:40, pints and points. And hopefully again this week we will play some liquid football. We certainly have been playing some liquid football over the last couple of weeks. Away Day Beers. Support a Town fan. And of course buy good beer. Link is in the chat. I have got a lovely tipple here this evening. Curtis, I found a little stash of Away Day beers that I had clearly forgotten about. This one is a Bundeslager, I believe. A little bit out of date. I'm not going to lie. But dates on beers don't count, right?
No, it's all going down the same hole. And it all comes out the other. So, no.
If I turn green halfway through, then you know why. But chin chin, my friends, chin chin. Beautiful. Right, on that note, Mr. Neil Willmore, welcome into Talking Town.
Yo.
How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Good, man. As you can see, we're professional, but this side of the camera, as it appears when you're the other side, as in not professional at all, but welcome one, welcome all. What is your Friday night drink of choice this evening, sir?
I'm on the soft drinks.
That's okay. I've got both, mate. I'm like, I drink like a fish.
I can't drink diet or that sugar-free stuff. It's full fat, full sugar.
Good man. I like it. Full fat, full sugar, the full experience. Like it is at the moment, right? I've been here on Twitter, Neil. This is the greatest time to support your town since. And then people insert their own. So I want you to tell me, is this the greatest time you've had support in town? Or what is the greatest time you've had support in town?
That I can remember. 2000 was good. Obviously, the start of the Burley era in the Championship. So when your Dyers come through, etc. That was good. And then obviously Dyer moved on after the playoff losses and we went up when Marcus Stewart came in. That was good. But this has been best. This has been the best since...
Since when?
Since, I suppose, the McCarthy playoff season.
Ooh.
That was it. Other than that...
You know, Neil, that's the first time I've heard that, actually. Because many have said since Joe Royal, since 2000.
Royal was good. But that season was good for... Not entertainment. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't massively entertaining. But, you know, there was a bit of achievement. We actually got somewhere in something. That was the difference.
I don't know. I'd challenge that actually about it being entertaining because for the most part of the year, I mean, I remember going to Boxing Day, Brentford away, and we played some scintillating stuff like before Christmas. After Christmas, we'll forget because that was pony. But before, I'd say we played some great stuff. Wouldn't you say in that season, Neil?
We were okay, but it was never like it is now. You know, the other night against Cambridge, even though they held out for 70 minutes, you just had that feeling it was coming. It was coming the whole time. And not once did I sit there thinking at 0-0, we're not going to get this like we have done before. But like last season and seasons before that, I constantly felt that goal was coming. I kept saying to my son, who's 13, who comes with me, both season ticket holders, I kept saying to him, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then it did. And the guy 2 seats along from me whipped his shirt off and was swinging it round his head. Bare-chested.
On a Tuesday night.
On a Tuesday night, on a school night. I know.
I mean, that is a bit early, though, isn't it, Curtis, to be standing up, taking the shirt off and swinging it around your head? Because, you know, for every positive Town fan, such as Neil and many others on social media, there are, of course, the ones that prefer darkness, clearly. Like Mike D. Too early to say, he says. What about you, Curtis? Are you with Mike there? Is it too early to say?
No, it's never too early. You got to celebrate the highs when you can. Get that beer belly out. It's never too early. Like football can be a very, very depressing game. So when you do get the moments of joy, you got to embrace them. You got to embrace it, especially as an Ipswich Town fan. Especially there's been very rarely any joy. It's in my time of supporting us. So in the times where you do get that brief glimmer, enjoy them, embrace it, hug the man next to you whilst you're half naked. Do what you need to do to feel the best thing ever. But yeah, embrace the fun times.
I do agree with that. I mean, I do get the argument. It is, League One. I don't think we'll release a DVD anytime soon. I do get that it's too early, but I've also, as you've said, Curtis, very well put, by the way. Football can be a depressive game. Yeah. And I've sat here through the early Paul Cook days where the expectation was here and the results were here. And the match day fan reaction shows after the game. I was going to bed some nights, Neil, so depressed. More depressed than the game when the game had finished, because it was like, God, they're right. We're shit.
You remember how like sad that relegation year was from the Championship for us? I remember every single week not having anything to look forward to because you knew it wasn't even a case of hoping for a win because you knew you were going to lose. So we all knew how sad that season was. So this hope that we've got now, enjoy it, smile with it.
We deserve it. We deserve happiness. 100%. We've had misery for years. Absolutely years.
We have. Now, we started this show on a real positive note. So for those that say we often like to be depressive, negative on the platform, I'd love you to watch the first 10 minutes of this show because it's been nothing but positive. And we're going to make it even more positive by showing you the league table. We are 12 games in. We are currently sitting in second position, 27 points. Took us ages last year to get 27 points. 8 wins, 1 defeat, 3 draws. Gotta love the league table there. Womble says, I may get a shot for this, but being able to see the Town fans and their passion, quirks, and humour on here draws people close to the club. So, season-wise, if Town go up, it's this one. Thank you very much, Womble. I love you. I appreciate you. And your username still makes me absolutely giggle inside like a little child. Procrastinating Womble. See, can't help it. It's good. We are 12 games in, which means we are 1 quarter of the season in. So I want who stood out for you in the first quarter of the season? It may have been a surprise. It may have been somebody you didn't expect to stand out that has. It may be somebody that you always expected to stand out, but it maybe stood out more than you possibly could have ever thought it'd be. But 12 games in, I'll start with the newbie. Neil, who's your stand-up performer after the first quarter?
Lee Evans.
Talk to me, why?
He was injured a lot last season. He came and I thought when he joined on a freebie, I knew he was a good player. I'd heard he was a good player. And I expected a lot more. And then he got injured and he sort of drifted. And I thought, is he going to come to anything? But he's coming this season. And every time I've seen, he doesn't give the ball away. Every time I've seen him play, doesn't give the ball away. The other players, just the likes of Walton and Chaplin, and Wolfenden to an extent, and probably Morsey, you'd expect to be good because they are good players. I mean, Lee Evans, good player, but you didn't see a lot of him last season, so that's why he's my pick.
For many people, Neil, he wasn't even in their team. It was Don Ball and Sam Morsey. We saw Don Ball Tuesday. How did you see Don Ball's performance, and how did you compare that to what you've seen from Lee Evans? On one, admittedly, but what were your thoughts on that midfield too?
Oh, Don Ball was fine. Morsey was getting forward a lot more, but then as soon as Evans come on, you could see the change in the performance as soon as he came on. Whether we'd worn them out with constantly going at them for 60 odd minutes, which is probably why, and then Evans was just picking passes for fun. And that was it, really. He just opens them up like a can of beans. And
I do think with Lee Evans, you could just say his name, Neil. And I'm going to ask you why, obviously for the purposes of content. But to Town fans, you could just say Lee Evans, and many would know the reasons why. You know, you've got Norman who says Evans. Max says we're now seeing the Lee Evans that Wigan fans are raving about. Now you're not going to say Lee Evans, Curtis, because I'm taking him away from the party. But what have you made of Lee Evans' first 12 games this season? Because I think you're one of the, like me, you didn't really have him in the first team, weren't expecting a lot.
No,
what are your thoughts on him?
I mean, for me, I think bar obviously the preseason games in which he was playing, I had him down as firmly a bench option. But that was also based, in my opinion, off last season, because I think the Evans that we're seeing this season compared to last season is completely chalk and cheese. If anything, I think bringing Don Ball in has probably given him a kick up the arse, because I think it means he had to raise his standard. It did, and I mean, fair play to him. I mean, the man now is playing better than I think any of us could have actually imagined. Certainly at this point of the season. Yeah, like maybe in the Plymouth game, the Sheffield Wednesday game, maybe there was a slight dip. But again, like I suppose it is League One for a reason. These players aren't going to play at 100% every single game. They are in League One for a reason, unfortunately. But if he can give you a consistent 7 out of 10 in most of the games this season, I'll take that. I'll take that. If that's what helps us get up, I'm all for it. All for it.
Crunch is taking the credit, by the way. He says Evans has performed since he unblocked me on Twitter. I'll take the credit. Kieran won't accept the playoffs this season. We're a football club, and our fan bases want Norwich. Our fan bases want Norwich. Wish they had history. ITFC. Kieran's on the beers early by the sounds of it. Good man, Kieran. We love it. Keep the comments coming in. It is Friday night after all. So, Curtis, who's your standout after 12?
For me, it has to be Leif Davis. It has to be. I think for a while before he, and to be fair, Greg Lee came in, I think we looked quite inept on that left-hand side. I think what he offers us is something that we've lacked in a very long time. He is very much, I've seen the comparison already, he is very Cresswell-esque in the sense that he will go up and down that left-hand side. He will not stop running. The man he's going to make this club so much money in terms of sell-on value. It's unbelievable. I mean, to be fair to him, it takes ball to drop down to League One. It takes ball to drop down to League One. I know we paid big money for him, but he was well within his right to think that he is better than League One. And from what I've seen, he's far better than League One. I think seeing how we've played in that left-hand position in past seasons, Dom Thompson for me last season wasn't really for me. And I think Blackpool fans now are starting to see the reason why. I mean, I work in Blackpool. 3 of the lads who I'm working with are all Blackpool fans, and they've told me quite recently he's been absolutely diabolical, to the point where even the other night he basically passed the ball to Pookie for Norwich. He basically passed the ball to him, and I just felt we were lacking something attacking, but also very good at being defensively minded. And I think at his age as well, it's amazing what he's doing game by game. I mean, this is a young, raw player, but he's standing out amongst seasoned professionals at this level where it's very rough and tumble. I mean, and I was a little bit worried when Greg Lee got injured, purely because at that point you start to worry about what if this person gets injured. But I think he manages his games well. Obviously, he gets targeted. All you need to do is see the highlights from the Portsmouth game to see how much he gets targeted. But that's a sign of a good player. It's a sign of a good player when teams try and hack him down. It's not good for us, but it just shows what a talent we have on our side right now. And I do think, I saw Crunch say earlier, that goal is coming. It is coming. He's getting into the positions, so he will get that goal. And for me, Leif Davis is second to none.
It could come as early as this weekend. Obviously, Morecambe, number of issues in terms of availability of players. So who knows what may be their lineup tomorrow. But two great shouts with lots of honourable mentions. I hope to do a few more on Sunday's podcast. I may even ask Coxie and Alex tomorrow if they've got one or two that are different. But Lee Evans and Leif Davis, I don't think many, if any, Town fans would argue with that. It's been a steady first quarter of the season for Town. Second quarter, let's see what that brings to the table. We kick it off with Morecambe, but before I go to Morecambe, Neil, the response to defeat, we kind of touched on it at the start of the show with Curtis. Kieran McKenna spoke about it today in his press conference. He said there are times that you find out a little bit more about the group. When you're at a big club like Ipswich, you never want to lose any games, and you do your utmost to make sure that you don't. Otherwise, the fisherman will get you. He didn't say that. I just added that bit in. But you're going to lose games over the course of the season. How you respond is really important. And I really like the way we were as a group, as staff, and as a club behind the scenes. Reaction to defeat. Just how good has it been since Plymouth, which feels like a lifetime ago?
Well, it's been outstanding. But what you got to think is you had the week before that as well with 2-0 up at Sheffield Wednesday. Threw that away, I suppose you could say. Then we went to Plymouth and lost that one. And that's when you start thinking, are the wheels going to come off? But, they've knuckled down. I mean, to beat Portsmouth, I was there and Portsmouth didn't really have a lot. I didn't think they did. It was 2 crappy penalties they got. And we scored 3 good goals. And we were good value for the money. Good value for the win. The whole game.
Very good.
We lost the one before. I thought we were outstanding that game.
Do you think that Portsmouth game actually, Neil, is a real standout testament to the character of the players? Because they'd gone to Wednesday, lost the 2-0 lead, drew 2-2. Then they'd lost the 1-0 lead at Plymouth and lost 2-1 live on Sky. Now, that could have very easily resulted in a slide, or it could have very easily resulted in a team that went ahead, got pegged back, went ahead again to then get pegged back, that then perhaps, had bad memories of 2 games past come to the fore, and who knows from there. But to not only come back, keep coming back, but then win the game, that's a real mentality statement, isn't it?
Yeah, it shows they've just got a bit more about them than we've had previous years. Other years, teams would fold. It happens 2 or 3 times. You can see that second goal. Some will sit back and not want to attack and think, right, we'll take this point. But it didn't look like they wanted to me. As soon as they changed John Jules for Ladapo, you could see they were trying something else a bit different. And Ladapo's goal was outstanding.
It really was, yeah. One of the best sort of postage stamp finishes. But Curtis, boxing has been in the news in recent days, but they always say you've got to have that eye of the tiger. You've got to have that little bit of something about you, which when the chips are down, you draw upon a strength you didn't even know you had to finish the job. Look at Tyson Fury, knocked on his backside by Deontay Wilder. Deontay's dancing in one corner, he springs to life in the other. It's something inside of him, the champion inside of him. That was Portsmouth to an extent, wasn't it? Because one goal coming back from 2, wow, it's not our day. Get down on yourself. But to find something the way they did, it's special.
Yeah, I mean, you did quite well to liken it to a boxing match there. It was very much like being on top of your opponent for 11 rounds and the referee not waving it off, but that opponent gets a couple of sucker punches in, just in the right area, and sends you tumbling to the ground. And I think in that last moment, maybe on that second knockdown, you start to think, it's not going to go my way. Like I can't put them away. I'm doing everything I can, and it's just not going to happen. And history tells us in the past, especially with our club, that these games, when we do make our own issues, they don't tend to go our way. But again, it's proving us wrong. It's proving us that we need to get out of this mentality of things may not go our way, because it's like, I think what people said, it's a monkey off our back now, and I think it's a team there in the top 6 that quite rightfully are challenging up in that area. We've now beaten a top 6 side, and not one that was in the top 6 prior, things like that. They were a good side. They're there for a reason. But as Neil said there, I think in that game, I can't really remember them really testing Walton. I can't really remember them ever really putting him in any danger of sorts, which it can only be a massive testament to us. It really can. I mean, yeah, it was just after that game, I know it was a bit edgy because they got those 2 sucker punch penalties. I don't know. There was just something about it in that game where even then I was never really worried, because I just felt we were so on top against a team that wasn't challenging us in the slightest. And it was weird to feel like that as an Ipswich fan. It was weird to feel like that because there's been so many seasons in the past where when teams play against us, I used to worry when they were passing the ball, spraying the ball about. And I used to see the stats after these games, and somehow we'd be on like 40% possession to their 60. And I used to be scared every time opposition got a corner, free kick in our half. But now this season, for some, I've seen us dominate games at 60%, 70%. Seeing the way we play football, which is, to be fair to McKenna, is way too advanced for this league. I don't know. It feels. It's an unusual feeling to just not really have any worries on the pitch, apart from the ones where we do make our own little issues. But again, as proven by Plymouth and Wednesday, he has took it on board and he clearly has learned from it.
Absolutely. Norman says if we repeat our first quarter form for the entire season, we'll only lose 4 games and achieve 108 points. That really shows how great our start has been. Blur, I reckon we are big title contenders for this season. Lewis asked the question, how much do you think the 5 subs rule has benefited us? Great question, Neil. 5 subs, how well? Because Mark Bonner had this to say, pre-game show, Cambridge, and we didn't really want it because it would benefit these bigger teams. How have you seen it from your perspective?
I think I'd be lying if I said it hasn't helped us. I think because we've got so much option from the bench. We can play different ways. Like tomorrow, you can play your Jackson, and if that isn't working with a quick man up there, you can switch Ladapo in and play him up there. Whenever we change anyone, we change our way of playing. So you've got a longer ball with Ladapo. You've got shorter balls all playing in the channel for Jackson. It's the options are endless. And Keogh isn't even getting on. He's on the bench and he's not even getting on. It's like Edwards the other night when he came on. It's just a nonsense. I brought him on the other night and he was, excellent, outstanding.
Let's touch on Edwards because obviously McKenna had a little bit to say about him in the press conference today, and we kind of huffed and puffed for a long time against Cambridge, Neil, and you could have been forgiven for thinking, oh no, here we go again. It's one of those can't break the bus down, but we did in the end, and obviously Edwards had a huge part to play in that. McKenna said it's obviously a really good skill set to start off with. Of course, in football, to build your career, you have to be effective in terms of goals and assists. You have to have good numbers in the forward positions, and there's a process behind getting those numbers. No, he didn't say pre-assist, guys. It just doesn't happen. And it's about the areas that you get in and your decisions when you get into those areas. So consistency and then the numbers are what everyone looks for and thrives off. And Edwards came on Saturday against Portsmouth, had a star cameo, but then Neil, Tuesday, his first goal is whether he meant it or not is sublime. But for me, the second goal is even better. But now he's getting that consistent, and those stats are now coming. How did you see the wonder kid?
I thought he was excellent. I mean, when he come on, you could see. I mean, was I surprised Burns come off? Probably not, because I thought Burns' first touch wasn't great the other night, and then when he did take him off, I thought that's brave. You think to yourself, Burns is usually the go-to man. You take Burns off last season, everyone would be throwing the toys out of the pram, but he took him off, brought Edwards on, and as I said in the chat the other night, the left backs in the league must think, I've got rid of Burns. Oh, bloody hell, Edwards has come on now. How the hell do I look after him? And he's so quick. But it was his delivery. When I'd seen him before, his final ball was just so poor. But it looks as though he's got a bit more about him now. So whether that's because he's had his injury and he's had a bit more training, he's been with McKenna, he's learning the ways to play. I don't know. Do you put it down to McKenna? I don't know. Probably.
Well, it would be another fantastic story, Neil, of McKenna's reign here, of players getting better. Delivery was good. His determination for the second goal was really good.
The second goal was great finish with the outside of the foot.
But to get there first as well, to be that determined that I'm that hungry for this. You know, and we've not always seen that in the forward areas from players over the last 25, 30, 50 years, you know, at Town, where they have that hunger, despite scoring already, to be that man. And it shows the squad game, Curtis, but it also shows the squad game in I've got to come on and make my mark here, because, you know, Aluko's down and injured, sadly, but that doesn't mean the opportunity is going to come my way again for a while. I've got to take it when it's presented to me.
Oh yeah, of course. As sad as it probably is to see teammates get injured, you've got to make the most of that. Like football can be a very short career for some players, and unfortunately, if you don't get chances at certain clubs, you can find yourself out the door quite quickly, and therefore your career can either stop or it can really stall. So you've got to make the most of these injuries. And Kyle Edwards, I mean, I saw a Blur comment before saying Edwards is like our ultimate weapon. He's right, and it's like Neil said. Can you imagine looking over and seeing him preparing to come on when, especially let's say tomorrow, because in my opinion, tomorrow could be a bit of a rough and tumble game. Can you imagine tired legs tomorrow, and you look over and you see Kyle Edwards smiling on the sideline, getting ready to come on. Like that's if he doesn't start. But just someone like him who you know is just going to run at legs, possibly trip him over himself, turn him inside out. That's a scary, scary thing to be able to bring on. And these five subs, it makes it so much easier for a club like ours, who have, well, with our new ownership, clearly heavily invested in this playing squad. It makes it exciting, because these teams, unfortunately, they've not had the same backing as us. So we have reinforcements. We have cannons after cannons, and for any team, it's going to be hard to beat the quality that we have. And those on the bench, unfortunately, they can feel real hard done by. Well, I was about to say they can feel hard done by to not get on the pitch, but because everyone's playing so well, it would be harsh to take someone out, to put someone in. It's such a difficult position for any player in that squad. But I think when your moments do come, as long as you contribute your bit, then you just got to wait for your moment that you do get that start. We're just in such a fantastic position with this playing squad now. It's unbelievable to look at. Unbelievable.
It's a certain transformation. It certainly is what we all expected this time last year. I like your comment there about Wes Burns. You know, it was the talisman last year, Neil. And to see him taken off, you know, it was a brave decision. I thought it was the right decision, but it was a brave one, and he got rewarded. And what I really liked, and maybe we'll see it tomorrow, Cambridge were parking the bus. That was clear to see, Neil. And there was no space. Bringing Kyle Edwards on the right was kind of a good tactical move, because there wasn't any space to get in behind the fullback. So a traditional winger of knocking it past him and trying to deliver the ball from the byline. Whereas with Kyle being left-footed, it was kind of, okay, limit my space there. I don't care, because I'm gonna like the goal. I'm gonna touch, turn, and whip this ball in. I don't need the space behind you. I need the space in front of you. That was, you know, an underlying tactical move there to play an inside winger, really.
Yeah, because if you play him using his left foot on the right, he's only got to swing that ball in a box. Even if he didn't catch it as well as he did the other night, that could go in the far corner. You don't need anyone to touch it. I played up front, so I was a striker, so I know about crosses and balls. But it's like you'd be looking in that box, so near the 6-yard area. That's where you'd be targeting the cross, dropping it in that hole.
That back post.
Yeah, if no one touches it, it will go in. If someone gets there, it could hit anyone and fly in own goal. So many options with that ball in there. So,
or you can just wrap your foot around it like he did and put it in the top corner and make the keeper look really silly with his footwork. Bless him. But yeah, loved it. Good tactical move. Great performance. I'll ask you now, Kyle Edwards, does he play for you? But does he play for you tomorrow, Neil?
I don't think he will.
Okay. So you've either
I think
side.
he'll be on the bench. I think he'll be on the bench.
Yeah, okay. Curtis?
Unless Harness doesn't start, that's the only chance I could see him playing.
Okay. Kurt?
No, I think he will be on the bench, possibly 65 minutes, 70 minutes. So,
okay, so both off the bench, maybe earning the, I hesitate to say it, but maybe the Danny Haynes super sub gimmick, coming across the car. Who knows? He's had 2 games. Let's not anoint him just yet. Danny was famous for coming on, and was it certain budgies he would put to the sword?
He used to love coming on and scoring goals against them. Oh, yes.
Oh, he did. Good. I mean, it was almost to the where you don't want him to retire at any point in his life. But you have him just to be on for 10 minutes so he can score a goal and get, in a derby. Stephen Jackson's has a shot. He's kind of game. I'm not fussed. We have lots of options. Mikey says chance to rest a few tomorrow. Morecambe are bobbins. That's a great segue into Morecambe, but we are on 36 minutes, so I'm going to take a quick moment to ask you all to hit the like button. We have 115 watching on YouTube alone. Come on, hit that like button. It costs you nothing. It takes you 1 second. Job done. I want 115 likes, please. We've got 30 at the moment. Hit the like button. It helps the platform out. Right. Morecambe tomorrow. Absolute bobbins, according to Mike D. McKenna said this. Fatigue. He didn't say this, but this is about fatigue and just how tough it is at the moment in terms of Saturday, Tuesday, and obviously going to Morecambe tomorrow. He said, I think it's a big challenge for us because for a number of reasons. We had a few weeks now of a busy schedule, lots of midweek games, and even the midweek when we didn't have a game, we played Plymouth on the Sunday, and you have a long travel back. We know that mentally we're going to have to be right first of all. That's the first challenge. It's a long coach trip at the end of a busy period of games. So we're going to have to be mentally ready to get the adrenaline levels and get the focus and the concentration right for the game. Curtis, fatigue at play. Is this tougher than some fans are potentially giving it credit for?
The team at the bottom of the league has nothing to lose. They have to attack to get those points, and that can be dangerous. No one's even their own fans don't expect amazing achievements this year. They just want a few wins, and when a team's got nothing to lose, they can be the most dangerous team you play all season. For me, it's going to be a heavy pitch. Last season it was windy, and if it's anything to go by what it's like the last few days, it's been so windy up north. It's been absolutely horrendous. So if it's anything like last season, it's going to be another tough game. The bottom of the league, whilst it clearly says they're propping up the table, for me, this could be as difficult as Portsmouth for me. It really could, especially if they've got a few first teamers out, because those players who weren't in the first team, they'll be wanting to make a point, because clearly those in the first team weren't doing the job. So those who were out of said team will want to prove a bit of a point. So if anything, this is definitely just as difficult. I mean, to be fair, I might be wrong. Might be half an hour in, and we might be absolutely storming them 4-0, and I'll be proven to look a dick. But then no, for me, it's going to be just as difficult as Portsmouth. I think they will make it very difficult for us to break them down. I just do. I think that's the game plan they're going for.
I mean, absolute bobbins, Neil. Mike D called them. You've heard McKenna's thoughts. What are yours?
Looking at their results, they've not. I think they've only lost one reasonably heavy, but they've all been quite tight and going up there. As the saying is, it's grim up north. They're going to go up north. It's going to be chucking it down with rain. You can guarantee it. Blowing a gale, and our lot have got to be up for it. That's the main thing. They've got to be up for it. 100%. First tackle. Don't get any stupid reds. Get there, tuck the 3 points in the back pocket and go home.
Yeah.
That's it. Professional. That's it.
And we struggled last year, Neil, against these type of sides. We had a playoff push late on in the season, derailed by 2 back-to-back 0-0s. we're a different side. We're a better side, but that doesn't mean we haven't got some of the old habits that are still, the bad habits, as Ed Sheeran would call them, knocking around. Morecambe have played 11 games, won once all year, and conceded 21 goals.
I don't think Stockton's been playing for him, has he?
He has, but he hasn't been scoring.
No, he's been on the bench a few times though as well. I think he was on the bench.
He's not been informed. Dave tells us he was on the show Wednesday. He's not been informed. Looking for his first goal. He's hoping it comes this weekend.
Well, that's the thing. People have to come into form at some point, don't they? I just hope it isn't us. I just hope it isn't us.
It'd be a classic.
It's Ipswich all over. Yeah,
this is it. Yeah, if you play Football Manager, it'd be a classic because on Football Manager, the person who scores got their goal against you is always the person's first goal of the season. It's like you couldn't have waited till next week, you bastard. First goal of the year, no matter who it is. First goal of the year, you're like, for fuck's sake. Always.
But I don't want to be doom and gloom. I think we'll go and do a job. But you've got to be right. We've got to be right.
This is it. Max Pickford. Ripley's comments about brutality sounded like a man with no confidence in his teammates. I just thought it was a bit of a rallying call, really. We've got to be up for it. We've got to.
No, if you want to see comments from a player with no confidence in his teammates, you want to look back at Richie Wellens when he played for Town. Though he did a lovely interview once, and it was absolutely fantastic, where he basically said that the players don't even want to look like it. They don't look like they want to be here. It was back when we had Dad's Army playing for us. That was fantastic. What a time to be alive.
Midfield diamond of Lee Bowyer, Jimmy Bullard, Keith Andrews, and one other. I can't think who the fourth one was. A diamond in midfield. Those were the days. But I was going to say, Kurt, I don't want to disrespect Morecambe.
No.
But these are the type of games you've got to go and win without a shadow of a doubt. But equally, if you're Morecambe, which way are you going to play, Kurt? So you're going to try and go finesse with finesse. Okay, you play your best, we'll play our best. We'll see which one comes out on top. Or are you going to go and say, well, you may play with the pretty stuff. You may play with the flair. We're going to come out and play with, proverbial axe and clubs. We're going to come out and fight, kick, do what we need to do to keep ourselves in the game of football because we know we can't out-football you. That's no disrespect there, but
no. I mean, for me, you try and put 10 men behind each ball. I think certainly for a team in their position, I think their best hope is to probably proverbial shithouse a 1-0 win against us, which again they very nearly did last season. So for me, I think if you try and play the same game as us, I think we run all over them. I think when you try and play like us, I think that's when we absolutely love playing against those teams because there's so much space for us to play. There's so much space for us to play, and because we have that, let's say, higher quality of a team who maybe read the game a bit better than their counterparts. I think that's the games where we love playing. I think when it can be a bit rough and tumble, maybe a few high kicks to some of the knees, I think that's when maybe we slow down a bit. I just think I know people say if we want to go, these are the games, especially against bottom of the league, that we need to win. But as everyone knows, like bottom of the league, it's a horrible game. Because whilst it looks like it's a coupon buster, because whilst these games look like we should win, you just know that you end up looking at the game at about 60 minutes in, and you either sometimes see a 0-0, or you see the opposition winning, and you think, how's that happened? And yet you've got 10-fold on, and 9 other games are winning. Like we all know that these games are more difficult than what they look like on paper, and as was said many times last year, if football was played on paper, we'd have been promoted many, many times so far, but we haven't. So Morecambe going to be, in my opinion, it's still going to be no easy run along this trip.
No, you see, this is growth, I think, because this time last year, people would, in the chat and on the platform itself would have been saying, "Oh, easy. What are we worried about? Going to be 4 or 5-0. Turn up, run them over, job done." We've been here before. We all feel in our heart of hearts tomorrow should be what I've just said, but once bitten, twice shy, as they say. And we've certainly been bitten by these clubs, Neil, and been hurt by them. Stephen Bill says here there are 8 first-team players injured or out. They've only scored 8 and let in 21. With our defence and how we play, I can't see anything but a win. And Emerson, if we are worried about Morecambe, then we might as well give up now. No disrespect. We have nothing to fear if we play our game. And that's, that is true. And I think we all feel that and believe that. I'm going to ask you both to tell me how you feel Town should play or what they need to do to win the game, called our 2 keys. Kevin Keats, which gladiator is Gov and which one's Cruncher? I've got no idea what that question's about, but I'll let Cruncher in the chat answer it. Before we do, jukebox time. We're going to put forward a song and why this song should go in the jukebox. Make it convincing, guys, so the people at home vote for you. There's a live poll coming in 30 seconds. Neil, as you're the new voice, what is your song and why are you suggesting it goes into the Talking Town jukebox?
I had a multitude of songs and I kept Googling anything with champions, promotion, blue, anything. But in the end, I went for Always on My Mind by the Pet Shop Boys.
You were always on my mind.
Yeah.
Why that then?
Ipswich are always on your mind, didn't they? 24/7. If you're on Twitter, hashtag ITFC. If you're on Facebook, if you're looking at your phone when you're doing something, you're on the news now thing, so you can see if there's any new news stories coming through. They're always on my mind, but football's always on my mind. So,
absolutely, okay. So always on my mind. Curtis, your song, please.
I went for "I Was Made for Loving You" by Kiss.
Why?
The guitar riff in it is absolutely amazing. It's a catchy song, and plus, I love this Ipswich Town side. I've never been so entertained by our style of play. Oh, it's amazing. And plus, who doesn't love a bit of face paint? That's when the party starts. You whack a bit of face paint on, that's when the party starts.
Okay, I love it. I'm going to put forward Dance That Kuduro. Great holiday anthem, a great holiday tune. If you've ever been to an all-inclusive hotel, the moment you hear it, you have got images of the entertainment guys and girls around the pool doing acro aerobics and trying to grab up people who are 5 lagers in at 9:30 in the morning to do some type of stupid darts or snooker or dance competition. But we're going to Morecambe by the seaside. High of 14 degrees tomorrow. It's October. This is a song that gets you back in those Spanish siesta moments where the sun is ripingly hot and it's just wonderful. The drink is flowing and hopefully the points will be due too. So that's my song suggestion for this weekend. Dancer Kuduro, live poll. Let me know what you think. Now, on to the keys. Neil, as a new voice, we'll start with you. What are your 2 keys for victory tomorrow, please?
Play with pace and get in behind them. This is where I said about I suspect it won't be Ladapo starting tomorrow. I think we're going to look to turn them. And secondly is, as we said earlier, you see the keeper coming out with the comments about, getting amongst us, as they say. Or as Ron Atkinson used to say, putting a reducer in. So, I can see that, we're going to have to match them for fight and aggression to start off with. We're going to have to earn the right to win the game, first of all.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is going to win it. Match them for fight and aggression. That gives you the permission to play your football.
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed the right to do that. And I say that to my under 14s. You're not guaranteed to play football. Even at that age, you've got to get stuck in.
Yeah.
Then once you get stuck in, you start winning the ball. Then you can play with it.
Good point. Love it. And pacing behind. So with that, I imagine you're going not Ladapo. Who's your front 3-4 configuration tomorrow then?
We might see
pacing behind.
John Jules come on the other night. We might see him starting and we might see Jackson starting as well. I think we could see both of them. I think.
Jackson, what? Right on the where are you playing Jackson then?
Jackson would be up front. He'd be up top on his own. And I think it'd be John Jules in behind where he came on the other night.
Kind of Chaplin or Marcus Harness?
I think it'd be Harness misses out if that happens.
Any particular reason why you think Harness?
No, I thought he was going to come off the other night. I was quite surprised because speaking to the guys near where I sit, we all thought Harness was quite quiet. Now, whether I was watching a different game, I just thought he was quite quiet against Cambridge.
I agree. We've had some in-depth conversations on the Discord.
I thought he was quiet. I didn't really, and I thought, oh, Harness will be coming off. When I saw Chaplin's number come up, I thought, oh, there you go. But who am I to question here? I'm not Kieran McKenna, and it worked. So there you go.
It certainly did. I did say out loud as well. That is the wrong move. That is the wrong move. Little do I know, 10 minutes later.
Yep, exactly. So
right.
I could see
that. That's why it goes at Portman Road, Neil, supporting Ipswich Town. You know, I'm often criticising someone and they wrap their boot around it and bury it from 30 yards. Or who was the other week? Lee Evans. I was moaning about Lee Evans and he scored out of nowhere. Everyone went, there you go. And I was like, fuck's sake. I look even more stupid than I normally do. Cheers, Lee. But no, I was really jumping up and down. Curtis, your 2 keys, please.
Yeah. So first one was treating like any other game. This is where that dangerousness of complacency can come in. When you look at a team at the bottom of the league, you may think that you are so far ahead of them in terms of quality, but these are the games that are the most dangerous, because I don't want to be walking away from that ground tomorrow at 90th minute after we just lost 1-0 to the bottom, to the team top propping up the table. So you've got to play your game as you know you can. Just don't get sucked into what it seems like their keeper is saying. Don't get sucked into probably the petty fouls. Probably there's going to be a lot of pushing, shoving on that pitch. Just treat it as though it's any other game and just try and show your quality. And that kind of leads on to my second point, and that is to just assert your dominance. Assert that dominance. Don't waste time from the first minute trying to figure out how they're going to play. Just worry about what you can do. Because we know we've got the quality to dominate a team like Morecambe. So just from that first minute, you got to press, show your quality. Just show them that you're not going to sit back, try and figure out how they're going to play. Because why worry about how they're going to play? Why worry about that? Let's do our game. Because as I saw Crunch say earlier, the only team really who can beat us would be us. Because let's face it, Plymouth again was down to errors on our behalf. It really was, and Sheffield Wednesday, errors on our behalf again. In all the other games, realistically, maybe the issues have been that we've created our own downfall at single moments in time. So just play our game, do what we need to do, assert that dominance, and that 3 points, it'll be on the board for us again tomorrow at 5. It'll be there.
Mike D. Gov, do I realise? Of course, it's Morecambe, it's not Fleetwood. Come on, Mike. I had one slip up in 2 years. Come on. Even the best have slip ups. But yeah, I can really agree with that. Cruncher says dangerous. This lot are absolute pony. Gino, is Curtis having another wobble?
Yeah.
You're going tomorrow, aren't you, Curtis?
Of course I am. I love a trip to the seaside, from one seaside to another. I love that.
Absolutely. Well, have a song for me. Get singing. Metal Jace, anyone heard anything about from ITFC owners recently? I wonder when they'll be coming back to Portman Road. I imagine they're very happy at this moment in time, Metal Jace. Their investment is looking rosy, or certainly rosier than it did this time last year. But yeah, there we go. 2 keys. Check back in on the poll. Neil, you are currently leading with 50% of the vote. It looks like it could be Pet Shop Boys going in. Now we're live tomorrow, 2 p.m. pre-game show. Alex, Coxie, and myself. Then a moment of full time whistle goes with the fan reaction show. But before then, I need some score predictions. So after chewing the fat, after airing it out, the woes, the concerns, the positives, the good times, we've come to the end. Score predictions. Curtis, what are you thinking?
4-0.
4-0. Is it tomorrow that Leif Davis gets his goal?
Nah. Don't think it'll be tomorrow.
Okay.
Don't think
we'll save that. We'll hold that one back just for a time. Oh, I like it. Neil?
2-0.
2-0. Okay, conservative 2. Is it tomorrow Leif Davis gets his goal for you?
No, but I think Morsey might edge closer to double figures tomorrow.
What's he on at the moment? It's 4, isn't it?
3 or 4. And he hit the post the other night. I thought that when he hit the post the other night. I thought, oh, go on, let's get another one. So I remember the conversations at the start of the year.
Fisherman in a mankey, come on.
In a lime green mankey. It has to be a lime green
one. The Borat one,
Yeah, very good.
I still say he'll get double figures. I think he'll get double figures. I love Sam Morsey. I think he's brilliant. But...
Yeah, I think every Town fan loves Sam Morsey, but to double figures, I don't know. I mean, Richard's got a bet with Richard Chandler about 2 shirts, and I think it's 3 or 4 players on double figures. Rich is in the chat; he will let us know. But yeah, I mean, it's a good time to be a Town fan when these are the bets. Normally, it's how far away from the playoffs we're going to be this year. Is it to be 5, 10, or 20 points?
We're not going to finish. I don't think we'll finish 11th this year.
Don't curse it, Neil.
Right. Sorry.
Don't care. I mean, I sat in 9th for about 8 weeks doing shows, and then when I finally could show us that we'd left 9th, it was in the negative direction. It was a nightmare. It was horrible. I nearly cried every time.
I can't see 2 other seasons watching us this season. I can't see any reason why we won't finish in the top 2. I've not seen anything to worry about in all the games I've seen.
Top 2.
Nothing concerns me. And every game, when you think about it, theoretically, we could have won them all.
Well,
we could have.
Yeah.
Bolton, Barnsley, Sheffield Wednesday, Plymouth. Could have won them all.
I do think a negative result tomorrow would almost be 2 steps forward, 1 step back after 2 great weeks.
Surely not. I can't.
Don't go and undo your good work. Having had a blip, albeit a perfectly acceptable blip against 2 very good sides. Plymouth then went and beat Wednesday, for example. You've had that. You've come through the other side with 2 really good wins. Just don't undo it. Just go and do what you need to do. Play your game, as you both said expertly in your keys. Go and do it. Apparently, it's 7 with 10. Said
That's
Chandler.
It's not
7 players with 10 goals. I mean, that's. I want some of what Richard Chandler's drinking because it's obviously bloody good. Well, good luck to you. I hope it does happen so we can see Rich giving over 2 shirts. Womble says, hold on, we are not a perfect side. There are things to improve. Always. Absolutely. Until we are in the Premier League, back where we belong, there will always be things to improve. But Neil, you've made it through your debut. How do you feel coming out the other side?
That's fine. Yep, enjoyed it. It's excellent.
Good man. We'll get you a beer and a cigarette now.
I don't smoke anymore. I've got my vape.
Good man. Good man. Curtis, as always, a really enjoyable show. Enjoy tomorrow. Take some videos and pictures for us. Sing your heart out.
I need to see the goat. It's been so long. I need to see him. I need to see the goat.
He's looking forward to seeing you. Last comment from Stephen Bills. I fear if they play defensive or attacking, won't matter. Will be far too good for them. 8 first players out means the ones coming in aren't possibly as good as those missing. See you tomorrow, 2 p.m. pre-game show. Then at full time, whether you're watching, listening, whatever you may be in the car, at the game, join us, live chat, live to get involved. But until then, here's Mr. Willmore, the voice of the X Factor. He is Curtis Yates. I am the Gov. This is Talking Town. And we'll see you all tomorrow with love, with care. Mwah.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down low and I am blue, I can't get enough. Oh, yes, love. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Oh, yes, love. I woke up all soaked in sweat. Chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair.